That might be it. What's going on, world? Jack of all Spades CLT, back like the phoenix coming out of the ashes. As always, I am the beloved one, DJ Spellman. To my left, well, as you can see, Wabibi is not here, so hold tight, Pride of Africa. He's on daddy duty. But of course, on the right, we still got the boy Banks on the beat.
Yes, sir. Banks on the beat, Blue Water Banks. Fat Boy Tires.
3700
Wilkinson Boulevard.
Wabibi will come in with the hub.
There it is.
Hold tight, Jay Marlowe. He's still doing big things in Tyler Perry Studios. Local 6666. But, you know, a fan favorite she has become. We have mi hermanita Amaris running the cameras today. So we appreciate you, sis, as always. But today, our special guest for the episode, we have Miss I Love You. Well, I love that for you, Miss Camille Hughes.
Hey.
Oh my God, this is so cool.
How are you doing today, Matt?
I'm doing well. It's a great Sunday. It's not too hot outside, and I get to spend my morning with you.
I mean, what else is there to say?
I know.
Best podcast in the city.
Yes. Yes.
Now, for our people that are watching for the first time, listening for the first time, and those who might be there first or last time, we start our segment off with the flower segment. We start the podcast off with this flower segment. Let me get that right. I'm a little choppy since I missed the last one. Now, flower section. Camille Hughes, you are a trailblazer. Titan of Hopewell. Part of the wolf pack of NC State University. Content and fashion killer. Entrepreneur. Freelance and travel photo journalist, her Hughes, by the way. Light bearer, wanderlust specialist, visual storyteller, Black Queen-owned photography studio, the Frame CLT, if you didn't know. And your photo credits go to It's the Block, Charlotte Post, Charlotte Axos, Charlotte is Creative, and Blavity. Now.
Wow.
It's a lot right there.
Yeah, you've been doing this for a while.
You know, that's a great intro. Like, I want to say that to myself every morning.
There you go.
You should.
We'll make you a copy. We'll give you a copy.
Look at that.
Like that meme with the guy in the mirror, you gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I need that in my life. Yeah, I love everything that you said. I wouldn't really consider myself a fashion killer, but I'm actually not really big in fashion, but I appreciate that.
The people have spoken.
I hate it. I could wear the same thing every day and be like perfectly fine with it.
But you don't.
That's part of fashion too, though.
But I don't. But I like want to. I should just do that. Just wear the same thing.
It's expressive.
Yeah. So.
You'll start a new trend then.
I know, right? Yeah, and I actually never really like rep Wolfpack, but I should probably start doing that more.
It's a part of who you are.
Alumni. Yeah. I don't go to any games. I don't know what's going on in the sports world, so yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. So, as we get straight into it, photography is the art of capturing light with a camera. Looking at your work, and then once again, listening to the people. Your camera work is impeccable.
Thank you.
So talk about your process of creating the moments that you capture.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it just comes like really natural for me. And I really like natural light. I think I like thrive in that environment. So I just kind of like zone out. Like, so photography is the only thing that I've ever been able to do where I don't have to like focus on anything else. Like, I can take a photo of people or like do an event and I don't have to worry about like, okay, what am I gonna eat for dinner? Or, like, my mind doesn't race. So I'm like truly like focused in that moment. Yeah, and it's just kind of like me and my camera and like the subject, and I kind of just like go for it. And everything has been kind of self-taught for me. So I kind of just like learn as I go, and then I still learn from like every shoot, like what I could do better or how I could push myself. So yeah, like I really enjoy it. A hobby turned into a career. So
I gotta ask this, just when I'm looking at some of your photo shoots. Do you have the mindset of how you do the compositions, or is that a collaboration with the subject? Because it seems like you always capture just the dopest moment. So
I think it's like a mixture. But I think I'm just like do, and then I'm done. Like, I don't spend too much time. Like, there was one shoot that I really loved, and we spent 15 minutes on it. I got the shot that I needed, Like, I don't think about it too much. I'm just like, subject, boom, boom, boom. All right, let's go to lunch. Like I'm done. Like I don't want to. Yeah. So I think it's like a mixture too.
Okay.
Well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where did your love of photography come from?
Yeah. Okay. So funny story. Well, I credit it to two things. I found like the Nation of Islam when I was like my senior year of college, and that really like sparked this whole like creative interest in me, like just like learning for self, doing for self, like finding yourself and like finding like those God-given talents within yourself. I know I just said yourself a lot, but so that really like tapped into me like figuring out what I wanted to do with my life and my purpose. So I definitely like want to credit that, you know, to that.
Big up the nation.
Yes. But then the other part, I was going through like an on and off like relationship, and we broke up, and I was like, fuck him. I'm gonna go to the pawn shop and find myself. And I did. And I got a Canon T3i for $300, and I really thought I was doing something, and I was like, oh, I'm so cool. Like, you know. And at the time, I was traveling for free because my brother had worked for the airlines. I was like,
big up, bro.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to Jamaica and like take photos, and like I just went to all these places like by myself just to like capture photos, and then it just kind of like, you know what, I can do this, and it just kind of fell from there. So
Before I ask the second part of this question, but it always seems like a heartbreak leads to a great thing happening. I don't know why that always happens like that.
I don't know, like when it happened, I was really like, no, I'm gonna like really be on this journey of like self-healing and like, let me get a camera. But it was great.
You was on your eat, pray, love shit. It's okay.
Right?
Also, the way
Yes.
like the camera, like what that camera cost then and what you paid for it kind of fell in your lap, and the travel opportunity. So
It was like all meant to be.
it was set for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know, and I really regret. So I got rid of that camera. I'm really sad looking back on it. Like I should have just kept it, just for like memories and to show my children like this was the start of everything.
Damn, I like how you put that. Yeah.
So, but I don't have it anymore. It's in someone else's hands.
Yeah, 20 years from now, that T3i is going to be like the old go-to camera everybody used to remember. It's going to be like a
Yeah.
disposable.
Right? Yeah. So.
All right. So whose work influenced you?
So many people. Micah Carter, Jamel Shabazz, Carrie Mae Weems. I always pronounce her last name wrong. I mean, there's so many people that have influenced this, but to be honest, like even when I started photography, I didn't know a lot of like big photographers. I just kind of learned that throughout like my growth. But I'm like inspired by so many like local photographers too, like Mark and Terry and Lindsay. I mean, Jessica, and I mean, there's so many like amazing photographers in the city that I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. So I think it's just I get inspired like every day by other people's work, and you know, so.
Okay. As far as the locals, like I know all these people you talk about, and I think what's great about here in Charlotte is that everybody's intertwined together. It's like just because you're a photographer doesn't mean like you can't stand next to another one.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody inspires, influences,
For
and
sure.
points each other in the right direction. So it's like a family.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna keep growing. So.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the newest venture, the Frame. The goal is to be intimate, welcoming, a natural vibe so people can be motivated to create with no pressure. Why is this a passion project for you?
Well, one, the Frame is my baby. I have put so much time and money into her, I call her her. The idea, like, so I always knew that I wanted a studio. Like, that was always, like, I'm going to get a studio at some point. But it came to a point when I had moved back to Charlotte that there wasn't a place that I, like, knew would be good. Like, Charlotte didn't have anything like that. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. So I contacted a realtor, and I, like, asked my parents, like, hey, like, will you invest in me and this and that? And they were like, no. At first, they were like, I don't know what you want to do. Like, if you write down a business plan. So I came with everything. And then they were like, okay, you got something. Because I was, like, really serious. So the process took probably about 8 months. It was a long process, and I signed a lease in September of 2021, and I thought I would have been open by like January, but of course, like with delays and all that stuff. So I mean, it's only been a month since I've been open, but it has been so rewarding, but very taxing as well. But the best decision that I've ever made. I'm so glad that I've done this, and I really wanted to bring a space to Charlotte that Charlotte hasn't like seen before. Like you have it in LA and like Brooklyn and Miami, but nothing like this. And it was really special. Like I was intentional about everything, branding, even the furniture, the layout, like even paint colors, like with the white. Like it took me 3 days to figure out a white for the white walls.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different whites.
Yeah.
Look, right?
It's like,
who would have thought?
Who would have thought? So this has just been like the frame has been so dear to my heart. And I mean, just the response that I've had from the community and others has been so great. And I'm just really excited for the future. And I really want, and it's so much more than a photography studio. I really want to push creative community events. And really like shed a light on the community and have people in there, youth in there. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, you said you signed a lease in September, and you said you plan to open at one thing. I know, like when all of us come up with ideas and plans, everything doesn't always go the same way. I'm sure there's some other hardships you might have ran into. Like, was there any discouragement in that, or?
Oh yeah, every day.
Okay.
It was really to the point where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm gonna move overseas. Like I don't want to. It got very overwhelming, and I thought it was a setback every single delay. But now looking back on it, I am so glad I had delays because I wasn't ready. I thought I was ready, but I wasn't ready. So looking back on it, I'm very thankful the way that everything played out. So.
Okay. Now, a follow-up question on that. Like I asked about the passion project, that being a passion project for you.
And her baby, let's get it right.
The baby, in your baby.
Baby.
With that being your baby, I wanted to also ask, like you said, community involvement is something else that you want to make sure that you have in there. How does that also feel is what I wanted to ask to, once you got everything open and moving, to have everybody come out and to be able to support you once it was completed?
It was great. Like even at the grand opening, I was so shocked at how many individuals came out. I was like, holy shit, offer the frame. And I think now, I don't think I've still celebrated what has happened. I think I've just been going. I still haven't processed, like, the frame is here, this is my studio, and you made it through. And I don't think I've, like, sat still and, like, celebrated that moment. But, yeah, like, just to have all the support from the community and the people, it's like, can I do that?
People's champ.
I know, like, okay, I want
Is there a team behind you at all? Like,
I have a consultant
Okay.
that was very hands-on throughout the whole process, but she just went back to her full-time job.
Okay.
So now it's just kind of me. And I mean, even running the social is a job within itself.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't come up with this caption. Like, how am I supposed to? And that's been a struggle. So once I like start making money, I gotta hire someone because I
Makes
can't.
sense, yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah. But shout out to you for everything. Congratulations on the grand opening. I came to the event with Skinny, seeing you there. I was happy to see everything come to fruition for you. Not only because I'm seeing what you're going through and we're talking now, but you documented on your social. So on your social, as you're saying now, like that's a job, but you documented the paint work, the work you were getting done to the floors. It's just like I got to see the process, and it built anticipation for everybody that wanted to see the completed project.
And I wish I would have shown more, because there was a lot more that went behind the scenes that I didn't showcase. But even I noticed, like when I was being vulnerable because I wanted to do the floors myself, because I thought I could like cut corners. That was the worst idea ever. And I was like, I can't do this. And like I showcased, and people were like, do you need help? Like, I have a floor guy, like I can come help you, and like, the love and support from that. So I'm very glad though that I got to document those moments. Because it definitely like gave people like, wow, this is like where it started and this is where it is now. So
For sure. Okay. Now, with over 20 countries visited, you're a low-key diplomat. Do you incorporate those experiences or things you've learned about abroad into your business?
I do and I don't. It's like a mix of both. I think sometimes I forget those experiences that I have. And actually, ask the question again.
Do you incorporate those experiences or things you've learned abroad into your business?
Okay. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Sorry.
Gotcha.
I was like, I do and I don't. But no, I do. I think I base my whole life off of my travel experiences that I've had. And definitely when I get down and when I get sad, I have to remember, like, okay, well, you've been to this place. You've got to experience this. So, like, there is a better side, you know, of how you're feeling, and you can get back to that place. So, yeah, I do.
Okay.
Let's go a little bit deeper, though. What's an example? We want to know an example.
Golly. I don't know. I do it every day where I'm like, man, damn, like, this shit is hard. But then I'll think about when I went to Bali for a month, and I was like, wow, like, I ate some good food, and I did some crazy stuff, and, like, life's not that bad. So I think it's, like, one of those things where I have to, like, check myself, like, how grateful I am to, like, have been able to, like, travel to all these countries, and then I'm, like, in my feelings about
little stuff.
Camille's first world problems, you know?
Right.
I think, so that's what I do.
So I say, I'll just put a name to it, perspective.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
So.
All right, so we like to do this little transition thing and go in a different direction. We've talked about the Frame. And matter of fact, before we get to the transition, what side of town, what community is the Frame on?
So it is in the Oakhurst community.
Okay.
So like 7th Street turns into Monroe. You know where the old McBoney's is?
Oh, no, I'm very familiar. So I work in education.
Okay.
So you're right by Oakhurst STEM. Like,
yes.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
So I love the community because it's like, I mean, it's growing.
What they call it now? Mora now? Like,
Mora.
Yeah.
It's like hip Mora.
Exactly.
I'm in the Mora area. But I'm excited to see that area be developed. Because, you know, you have South End, you have Plaza, you have Noda, like everything's already developed. So this is like the next big neighborhood, I believe.
So you're coming in at the right time.
The right time.
Early.
All right.
So
one of the things I would say, having not met you until today, but seeing this quote, I'm like, this person is very profound. People are only one moment away from seeing the gifts of their own creativity. You got to speak on that.
yeah, I think people put too much into it. Like, just go with it. Just figure it out. And, like, so many people are like, you know, how did you do it? I want to do this. Like, I want to be more creative. And I'm like, you got to take a leap of faith. And I know that is so cliche, but it really is. Like, you really have to take your foot off the mountain and just die for it. Because that's the only way you're going to find out. And you'll fail. And you'll make mistakes. But I think it's all worth it to really, like, figure out, like, your light within. Because I think that's, like, the main focus of life is, like, really finding out who you are. So, yeah.
Okay.
Message.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, to follow that, in year 27, you had a renaissance. Now in year 30, I'm putting the age out there. I'm sorry about that.
That's fine.
Now in year 30, talk about your growth during the past 3 years.
Wow. I think this is my favorite question. I love talking about growth. I'm 30, and I'm so happy. It's like I have come such a long way, and like 27 was a hard year. I was going through a divorce. I was in Raleigh, moved back to Charlotte, trying to readjust, moved in with my parents. That was, I mean, I love my parents, but, you know, you don't want to live with them when you're like 28, 29,
right.
you know? And just to see where I am now, to like taking my mental health better and like getting the therapy that I need and still working on that. Like, I'm still not fully there, but are we all, you know? And then just seeing my growth in photography and like building the studio, it's like, wow, like if that was not the biggest glow up ever. Sorry.
Shout yourself out.
Yo, for real, and happy belated.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, so I'm just really excited for year 30. This is my year to be present as possible. I think for as long as I've known myself, I mean, I've never lived in the moment. It's either the past or the future. So I really want to be intentional and be like, you know, Camille, like, you need to focus on all the good moments happening right now. And that is something that I never do. And I have moments that I've enjoyed, but I've let them slip away because I wasn't fully present.
Yeah.
So this is the time. I'm 30. Like, I want to embrace everything, the good and the bad, and just really be present, like, in the now.
Not for nothing. When people listen to this episode, somebody needed that message. And
Yeah.
I'm going to say somebody, this person right here needed it, but I'm sure somebody in Jack of All Spades Nation needed that. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You saying
You
those
killed
words.
Yeah. And I also think what I've learned, I think I had a discussion yesterday with a friend, and this really just hit. I think we get so caught up in thinking that growth is uphill, like, you know, but it's not. It could be zigzag and down and up. And I think, I'm like, wow, that is what it's all about. Because 27 to now, I mean, a lot of ups and downs and just didn't think I was going to make it. But I'm here, and that's all a part of it.
All right. As we continue on, rest in peace, K. Slay. Now, we know that you can communicate with llamas. Now, Jack of All Spades Nation wants to know, are there other animals that you have that ability with?
Well, I think birds. I think I can talk to birds. I really do think that. I'm not a big dog, cat person.
Really? Okay.
No, that's not really my thing. I don't really like animals. That's really
Except
bad.
llamas?
Except for llamas. I like llamas, and I would love to talk to a gazelle.
Why though?
Well, I went on a safari when I was 17 in Africa, and gazelles just amazed me ever since then. And I just think they're the coolest looking things. They just are like, yeah, so if I had to talk to an animal, a llama for sure, and then a gazelle.
There you have it.
Yeah, it's so random.
DJ used to talk to birds too. You still do that?
Oh, yeah. You know, big up the owls, OVO sound.
I'm fucking with you. Now, your Instagram timeline should come with a soundtrack. We got to ask, who are some of your favorite musical artists?
Okay. There's so many. But if I had to narrow down to like top 20, maybe top 10, Florence and the Machine,
Okay.
my all-time number one. Oh my goodness. And then probably Cole, Kanye, big Brent fan.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Big up Mr. Fires.
Yeah.
New project coming on the
new
way.
project, July 8th, ready for the tour to drop. Oh, I already know. I've been on it. Isaiah Rashad, really big fan of his. Georgia Smith, Charlotte Day Wilson, Neo, FKA Twigs, Solange, SZA. I mean, there's a bunch.
Throw me one more alternative.
Now you put me on the spot.
That's what it's about.
Yes, yes.
Dang. I literally have a whole catalog, and now I can't even think of. You just put me on the spot.
The last one you listened to.
The last one I listened to? Well, I was listening to West Side Boogie. Well, no, that's not alternative.
No.
Though.
What a good add to that.
The album's good.
I didn't hear the album.
Yeah. The last alternative album that I listened to? I don't know. Can you throw out some names or something?
Who's the last alternative I checked in with? Salt, Krogden.
Okay. They're great. I never know how to pronounce their name.
I went to the show and had to learn there.
Got it. Was it great?
It was.
Yeah.
It was. It didn't disappoint at all.
Yeah. Okay, I listened to FKJ. I think that was the last.
I just got put on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fire.
All right, we got our answer.
All right. So, Miss Camille, what place that you visited had you in the most in awe? Because once again, you a world traveler.
Yeah, so
Give us two.
I gotta give you 3.
All right, even better. Let's get it.
So I've been to 24 countries, and each place is so different from each other. But the top 3 so far have been Spain, Kenya, and Bali. In college, I went to Spain for a summer to study abroad, and I turned 21 there.
Oh, shit.
A lot of siesta.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I lived with the family. So that whole experience was like, what? And I couldn't really speak English. The parents didn't speak English, so I was forced to speak Spanish. And that really pushed me out of my element. But I, like, suck at Spanish now. So, like, it was all, that was great. And when I was 17, I went to Kenya for 2 weeks. And I did a safari, life-changing. Like, when you really see the animals up close, it's like, holy shit, there's a giraffe, like, and I stayed at the base camp, which is, like safari camps, and you have a guard at night by your tent, because, like, the animals can come. Like, it was insane, and there was, like, monkeys on the tent at night, yeah. But I guess the most in all place that I've been so far, it's kind of cliche, but Bali. I did 18 days there, and the people, the food, the culture, and just your money goes so far. Like, I got like a 2-hour flower massage, like the whole thing, for like $36. Like, it was like, you can get like really nice villas for like, I don't know, like $60 a night.
Jeez.
It, like, your money just goes so far. And like, I was there for 18 days, and I did other parts of Southeast Asia, like I did Thailand and Malaysia, and I spent $1,200 in 26 days, including everything. Like, I was living my best life. I mean, I was doing some hostels. I don't know if everyone's, like, hip to the hostel world, but, like, I'm a big hostel person. Like, I'll stay anywhere. But, yeah, I saved so much money. It was, like, the best experience ever.
I know who I'm contacting when I'm ready to get up out of here for a minute.
For real,
yeah.
for real.
Like, I always tell people, like, just travel and see the world. There's so many places that I want to go and visit.
Let me ask you, you said when you were in Spain, you stayed with a family. Like not only having to pick up on a language, but what were like some of the big cultural differences? Because I'm pretty sure that was very impactful to be in somebody else's household and have to learn things.
No, for sure. So what was really interesting is they have, like, their lunch is like basically dinner time. So we all came home for lunch and had a family lunch. And for dinner, it was just like not a big deal. But just having the dialogue with them, and I couldn't really quite understand each other, that was challenging at first. But it became, like, towards the end of the trip, it became, like, my favorite time. Like, oh, I get to go to lunch and, like, spend time with the family and, like, have this great meal. But their culture is just, like, a lot different. It's, like, more laid back. But also, they like to party and go out. So I remember, and, like, the clubs stay open till, like, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and I remember, like, our guide was like, no, you guys can go out. Like, it's fine. I was like, no, I'm going to be disrespectful. Like, I don't think that's okay. And I remember coming back in one morning, and it was, like, 5 in the morning. And my host dad got in the elevator, and he went to work. And I thought it was, like, so awkward. But, like, he was like, hope you had a great night. Like, hope you had, like, But it was cool. But that was something that I wasn't used to, because I was like, my parents would kill me if I came in at 5 in the morning, and they were like, oh, did you have a good night? Yeah, so that was interesting. That was a big adjustment. But yeah, they're like real chill. Like, do whatever you want, kind of, so.
Okay.
All right. Well, another fun fact about your travels is in most places you get a tattoo.
I do.
So where did that come from? Because when I read that, I was like, that's kind of dope.
Well, one, everything's expensive here.
Well,
Might as well go overseas and get it for like, yeah. So like I got This World in Mexico City for $40. And then if I got it here, it would have been like 180.
Probably more.
Yeah,
or probably more. And I think, like, my parents were like, I don't think that's a smart idea. And I'm like, no, like, there's some really cute shops. Like, you can find a good shop overseas. And then I got this eye in Bali. And I don't remember. Yeah. I'm gonna go more places, and I plan on getting more tattoos there. And it just goes a part of my story.
100%.
So just be like, yeah, I got this in Africa. I got this, Yeah, and they don't have any meanings, really. I just, like, I'm going to get a tattoo today. And, like, yeah. I don't really think about it, so.
No, that's dope, though.
It's, like, on the whim, yeah.
For real, for real. All right, so Camille, we have now reached the most popular segment of Jack of All Spades Nation. We like to call it Top 5 Dead or Alive. Shout out the god of verses, Jada Kiss. So, are you familiar with the concept of namaste?
Yes.
So that's what you are, the light. You honor, like you said, we said in the flowers, light bearer.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to know, what are your top 5 ways to bring out the light in others?
Well, I think I have 5 ways that I would give advice to bring out the light in other people. Be patient with yourself. I think patience is my number 1. Present. What I'm learning, patience, presence, gratitude. I need 2 more.
You do?
I need 2 more.
Or else it wouldn't be top 5.
Top 5. And I knew this beforehand. I'm sorry. But I need 2 more. Damn.
Well, I will say, like, the 3 that you've named thus far, like, they've all applied in everything you've already told us in this interview. So it's like you're kind of reliving and speaking back to everybody.
Full circle moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think respect.
Speak on that.
Respect for yourself and for others. But I think for yourself. And I think that just kind of goes with, like, giving yourself grace. Grace. That's it. That is it. So we got respect, grace, patience. Present.
Gratitude.
Gratitude. All 5.
Ooh.
All right, so Jack of all Spades Nation, you've heard those wise words of Camille with the top 5 dead or alive. So please shout out all the socials so people can tap in with you and your movement.
Yes. So if you guys are looking to book a photo studio or just an intimate creative space, please go to the frameclt.com. All the information is on the website. And then for social, it is the Frame CLT on Instagram. Okay. Give us a follow.
Yeah, of course.
I need maternity photos, so I'll be there soon.
Yes. Would love to have that. That'd be great. So yeah. And I'm just excited for the support. And yeah.
All right, so what are some of the next events you got coming up?
Well, upcoming, we have a lot of, like, private events
Okay.
on the books, and I'm still trying to generate a schedule of events that I'm going to plan for the community. It's just everything's happening so fast. I just have to, like, figure it out and plan it all out. But the flea market that Skinny J did
Big up, big skinny.
was so good. And everyone's like, is this happening every Sunday? And and I'm like, not yet, but the people want it. So I think that I have to talk with him, but I think that might be a thing.
Got to get the people what they want, right?
Yeah.
100%.
So, but yeah, I mean, I'm open to all the kind of events that people want to have. So shoot us an email.
Let me ask one more question since we went in on that. Like, since you've been open, I know it's been a short time, but I'm pretty sure there's been things that you've had to alter. Like, you thought it was going to be this way, and there's things that you've added on, or different things you figured out you want to try, or you're like, oh, this can be beneficial too. Like, what are some of those things you think you've added on?
Yeah, so I have a membership portion that photographers and creatives can get, and that has been a huge success. And I've had to kind of segue to certain aspects that I liked about it and not. But for the most part, just to be honest, I haven't really changed too much. I think that will come later down the line. But so far, I mean, today has been a month. The 26th is a month. I've had 14 bookings and 4 events.
Okay.
So I think I'm good.
Yeah,
like,
right now.
For sure.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I'm excited about, like, the numbers that I've hit. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, continued success is what we want for you, for sure.
For sure.
Doing it for the culture, doing it for the community, and that's what we about here at Jack of All Spades.
Yes.
So we want to propel you.
Thanks.
So Jack of All Spades Nation, please tap in.
Yes.
The Frame CLT on IG, because that's what most of y'all use anyway.
I know. And you guys have to come. You guys should do a podcast there at the Frame. I would love that.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
No,
Hell
like,
yeah.
I'm so open to that. I think it'd be great.
We should come and, like, do some, like, you know how we return and do the video or whatever?
Yeah.
We should come and, like, do some paintings or something and have a little contest or
Well,
whatever.
you know, you're the most artistic one in the group.
I mean,
so
that
that's
we could do a paint and sip or something and just, like, you know, that'll make it challenging.
That would be really fun. And then, so what I want is, so all the walls are white. I'm going to get them repainted once a year. But before I do that, I want everyone to come in and, like,
Tag it
splatter
up.
the walls.
Oh, that's dope.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Like, all the colors.
That's hard. We there for that, too.
Damn. Yeah, my mind is racing now.
I know, it'd be so much fun.
But Jack of all Spades Nation, you know where to find her, and you also know where to find us. Anchor.fm is the reason why you can find us on places, even though you can't see it on the screen today. Spotify,
It'll be there,
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. What's the joint we on Amazon? What is that? An Audible? We're on Audible now.
Is it Audible?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Look, we doing bigger things now.
I didn't even know we were on Audible. I'm on
Yeah.
Audible.
Yeah, we on Audible too.
Fancy.
But once again, gracias to mi hermanita for the visuals you can see on YouTube. As always, I am the beloved one.
Banks Blue Water, Fat Boy Tires.
Camille, can you leave Jack of all Spades Nation with some parting words?
I love that for you.
Miss, I love that for you.
That's full circle right now.
Yes,
like
yes.
killing.
But Jack of all Spades Nation, you know how we close this thing out. One time for a Tribe Called Quest. Rest in peace, Malik Taylor, aka Fife Dog. Tell your mother, tell your father, send a telegram. And we out.